Hi, I'm Charles Jones, and I've lived in Tennessee since 2003. Before that, I lived in Seattle most of my life. I grew up in North Carolina and wound up in Seattle to go to graduate school. I think I got my first paint set of oils actually when I was 7 for Christmas, and I just took to it. And I always was interested in drawing and painting, and I think I realized pretty early on that that's what I was going to do. Linear rhythm, I think, has probably been the constant of my work from the time I was an undergraduate painter. One of the first real artists that I attached attention to, like this was when I was in probably, I don't know, 8th or 9th grade, was Toulouse-Lautrec. And for some reason I just really was drawn to his drawing, and his so linear, even his painting, but that's one thing that stuck with me. As I've gotten older, I've tried to include a more recognizable space, I would say, not abstract, not necessarily naturalistic, because you can see it's not. I think the constant in that is the linear patterns. I've not always painted that way. A lot of more plainer kind of things I have done, but I think one of the things that I look at to bind a painting together is the linear rhythm. I was in undergraduate school in the late 60s. That was the time of, de Kooning, Pollock, Rothko grand scale painting, and then after that there was Rauschenberg and Susan Rothenberg, and I went to a show of hers in Seattle, and one of her paintings was as big as that whole wall there, and I just loved that, and I painted as big as I could fit in and out of the studio. Never had a studio big enough to do that, but I switched to acrylics when I was in the Army because I could keep a paint box in my foot locker and it wouldn't get oil paints all over my uniform. and I never went back. And the thing I like about it is that you can paint quickly. You can paint a lot of stuff. It dries quickly. You can correct things. You can glue over it right away if it's, if the plastic tends to build up in ridges and you can't scrape it off like oil, but you can stick another piece of canvas right on top of it, and you can just keep working and trying things because you can correct them. I don't know where I got my sense of color. I had the standard training, and I basically think in terms of complements, but I've always liked high color. And I think that comes from also the period when I was in school, was the end of the abstract expressionist period, followed by pop art, and I was really taken by a lot of pop art. I try to paint what I see, but I'm not like a landscape painter. I don't try to paint this one instant. I don't think you don't live your life that clearly. You lived it ambiguously, and you're getting flooded with all kinds of things at all sorts of different times, and you have one thought and then you have an opposing thought, sometimes within 10 minutes of each other, and you go, eh. And I think that is what I try to reflect, how I have seen the world, what I have seen, and how you can see things in that mix. Many people, I can't say all people, but view the world. That's how they experience the world, and that's what I try to capture. The clarity of the ambiguity, I guess, would be the oxymoronic term I might use for that. I try to look at everything. I try to see everything, and being an artist, I look at a lot of art, and I think I just love looking at other painters. I like painting everywhere from the cave paintings through Egyptian wall paintings. I just love that through the Renaissance. I mean, I'm not, these guys did it right. I think they all do it right. And I wish I could paint like all of them. And I'm sorry that I won't live long enough to. I'm a trial and error sort of person. I don't go on theory. I read all kinds of stuff. I read art critics and art theorists and so on, and I think most of them, well, that's possible. That doesn't seem like the answer, however. And it's all, well, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work, But I'm get to the point where I feel like I can try anything because I'll make something out of it that'll work. The same way when I'm looking at art from, say, the Stone Age through what's in galleries today, that there's a time warp there, and I feel like I'm in all of these times at the same time. And I feel like sometimes that we experience the world somehow in that way. We're not just in this one plane, that there are intimations of other things going on, and that's the way I try to present the world as somehow clarifying that ambiguity. That's how I've tried to paint, because I think it's how we live. A lot of times I've hung a show and I'll say, oh, I sort of wish I hadn't put that one. Not this one. I'm really happy with this show. And it's like I said, this is a new experience of sort of being resolved and liking my work. It's kind of a new experience, but I'm really pleased with the work, and I'm really pleased with the way they look here, and I thank you for letting me have them here.